Elon Musk, the relentless innovator who changed the world. Chapter 1. Origins and Early Life. Elon Reeve Musk entered the world on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa, born into a family that would provide both privilege and profound challenges. His mother, May Musk, worked as a model and dietitian, embodying independence and resilience. His father, Elon Musk, was an electromechanical engineer, pilot, and property developer, a complex figure who would later become estranged from his son. Elon grew up alongside his younger brother Kimball and sister Tosca in the turbulent atmosphere of apartheid-era South Africa. From his earliest years, Elon demonstrated an unusual intensity of focus and an insatiable appetite for knowledge. While other children played outside, young Elon would lose himself in books, reading for up to 10 hours a day. He devoured encyclopedias, science fiction novels, and technical manuals with equal enthusiasm. By age 10, he had read the entire Encyclopedia Britannica, retaining an extraordinary amount of information that would later inform his multifaceted career. His childhood, however, was far from idyllic. Elon was small for his age, introverted, and socially awkward, characteristics that made him a target for bullies at school. He endured years of physical and emotional abuse from classmates, once being beaten so severely that he was hospitalized. These formative experiences of isolation and persecution would shape his character, fostering both a fierce independence and a drive to prove himself that would become hallmarks of his adult life. At age 10, Elon discovered computers, and his life found a new direction. He taught himself programming using a Commodore VIC-20, spending countless hours mastering the machine's capabilities. By 12, he had created a video game called Blastar, a space-themed shooter that he sold to a computer magazine for approximately $500. This early success provided the first hint of the entrepreneurial genius that would later emerge. The Musk household was intellectually stimulating but emotionally complicated. After his parents divorced when he was 10, Elon made the decision to live with his father, a choice he would later describe as a mistake. His relationship with Errol was fraught with tension, and Elon has spoken little about this period, except to indicate that his father could be difficult and that his childhood was not particularly happy. Chapter 2. Escape to North America. At 17, Elon made a calculated decision that would change the trajectory of his life. Determined to avoid mandatory service in the South African military, and drawn by the opportunities he associated with America, he obtained Canadian citizenship through his mother's heritage and left South Africa in 1989. He arrived in Canada with little more than ambition, initially staying with relatives and taking odd jobs to support himself. Elon's Canadian period was characterized by resourcefulness and determination. He worked at a lumber mill, cleaned out grain bins at a cousin's farm, and even shoveled dirt in a boiler room, all while plotting his path forward. These experiences, though far removed from the technological empire he would later build, taught him about hard work and the value of persistence. In 1990, Elon enrolled at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario, where he began studying economics and physics. It was here that he met Justine Wilson, an aspiring writer who would become his first wife. During this period, Elon's ambitions crystallized. He identified 3 areas he believed would most significantly impact humanity's future: the internet, sustainable energy, and space exploration. This trilogy of interests would define his subsequent career. After 2 years at Queen's, Elon transferred to the University of Pennsylvania, where he pursued dual bachelor's degrees in economics from the Wharton School and physics from the College of Arts and Sciences. This interdisciplinary education reflected his belief that the most important innovations would emerge at the intersection of different fields. At Penn, Elon and a roommate rented a large house and turned it into an unofficial nightclub on weekends, charging admission to cover their rent, an early demonstration of his entrepreneurial creativity. Upon graduating in 1995, Elon was accepted into a PhD program in energy physics at Stanford University in California. However, he lasted only 2 days before dropping out. The internet boom was beginning, and Elon recognized that the window of opportunity was limited. He couldn't bear to spend years in academia while the digital revolution unfolded without him. This decision to abandon traditional academic prestige in favor of entrepreneurial risk-taking would prove prescient. Chapter 3. The First Fortune Zip2 and PayPal. With $4,000 and a dream, Elon and his brother Kimball founded Zip2 Corporation in 1995. The company developed an online city guide with maps, directions, and yellow pages for newspapers in the early days of the internet. Working out of a small rented office, the brothers coded during the day and slept on the floor at night, showering at the local YMCA. Elon personally wrote much of the original code and operated under relentless pressure to make the venture succeed. The startup struggled initially, but Elon's persistence paid off when Zip2 secured contracts with major newspapers, including the New York Times and Chicago Tribune. However, tensions emerged when venture capitalists brought in experienced executives who sidelined Elon from the CEO role, a painful lesson in startup dynamics. Despite these setbacks, Zip2 grew successfully, and in 1999, Compaq Computer Corporation acquired the company for $307 million in cash. Elon's 7% share netted him $22 million before taxes. At 27, he had achieved his first fortune. Rather than resting on the success, Elon immediately pivoted to his next venture. In 1999, he co-founded X.com, an online financial services and payment company. His vision was to create a comprehensive online bank that would revolutionize how people managed money. X.com was among the first online banks to offer FDIC-insured accounts and attracted hundreds of thousands of customers in its early months. The following year, X.com merged with Confinity, a company that had developed a money transfer service called PayPal. The merger was tumultuous, marked by internal power struggles and disagreements over company direction. Elon, serving as CEO, wanted to transition the platform away from Unix to Microsoft systems, a controversial decision that sparked conflict with other executives. While Elon was on his honeymoon in 2000, the board replaced him as CEO with Peter Thiel, another painful professional setback. Despite being ousted from leadership, Elon remained the company's largest shareholder as PayPal rapidly grew to dominate online payments. In 2002, eBay acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion in stock. Elon's 11% stake earned him $180 million after taxes. Now 31 years old with substantial capital and hard-won experience in building and scaling technology companies, Elon was positioned to pursue even more ambitious goals. Chapter 4. SpaceX making life multiplanetary. Most newly wealthy entrepreneurs might have invested conservatively or enjoyed their success. Elon Musk did the opposite. He had long been fascinated by space exploration and was alarmed by NASA's lack of plans for Mars missions after the Apollo program ended. In 2001, he conceived Mars Oasis, a project to land a small greenhouse on Mars to reignite public interest in space exploration. When researching rocket costs, Elon was shocked by the prices quoted by American aerospace contractors. He traveled to Russia multiple times, attempting to purchase refurbished ICBMs that could be converted for his Mars mission, but found the Russians uncooperative and their prices absurd. On the flight back from his third trip to Russia in 2002, Elon had an epiphany. He realized that the raw materials for building rockets constituted only about 2% of the sale price of commercial rockets. The rest was inefficiency, bureaucracy, and profit margins. In June 2002, Elon founded Space Exploration Technologies, better known as SpaceX, in a warehouse in El Segundo, California. His goal was audacious: to reduce space transportation costs and ultimately enable the colonization of Mars. He invested $100 million of his own money into the company, an enormous personal risk that demonstrated his absolute commitment to the vision. SpaceX set out to build the Falcon 1, a two-stage rocket designed to be far cheaper than existing launch vehicles. Elon recruited talented engineers, many from top aerospace companies, and fostered a culture of rapid innovation that contrasted sharply with the traditional aerospace industry's slow, bureaucratic approach. The team worked at breakneck speed, designing, building, and testing components with unprecedented efficiency. The road to success, however, was paved with failure. The first Falcon 1 launch in March 2006 failed after just 33 seconds when a fuel line ruptured. The second launch in March 2007 failed due to propellant sloshing, causing the rocket to spin out of control. The third launch in August 2008 failed when the first and second stages collided during separation. Each failure cost tens of millions of dollars and brought SpaceX closer to bankruptcy. By 2008, SpaceX was down to its last launch attempt. Elon had invested nearly all his money, the company was on the verge of collapse, and critics gleefully predicted imminent failure. On September 28, 2008, the fourth Falcon 1 launch took place from Kwajalein Atoll. This time, everything worked perfectly. The rocket successfully reached orbit, making SpaceX the first privately funded company to send a liquid-fueled rocket into orbit. Elon and his team had achieved what many believed impossible. This success led to a crucial contract. In December 2008, NASA awarded SpaceX $1.6 billion commercial resupply services contract to deliver cargo to the International Space Station. This contract saved the company and validated Elon's approach. SpaceX went on to develop the Falcon 9 rocket and the Dragon spacecraft, which became the first commercial spacecraft to dock with the ISS in 2012. SpaceX's crowning achievement to date has been the development of reusable rocket technology. Traditional rockets are discarded after a single use, like throwing away an airplane after one flight. Elon believed that making rockets reusable was essential to dramatically reducing the cost of space access. After numerous attempts, SpaceX successfully landed and recovered a Falcon 9 first stage in December 2015, a historic milestone that aerospace experts had long deemed impractical. Today, SpaceX routinely launches and lands rockets, with some boosters flying 10 or more times. The company developed the Falcon Heavy, currently the world's most powerful operational rocket, and is building Starship, a fully reusable super heavy launch system designed to carry humans to Mars. SpaceX has become the world's most valuable private space company, revolutionizing an industry that had remained essentially unchanged for decades and bringing Elon's Mars colonization dreams closer to reality. Chapter 5. Tesla Electrifying Transportation. While building SpaceX, Elon simultaneously pursued another passion: sustainable transportation. He didn't found Tesla Motors, but he shaped it so profoundly that he's rightly considered its driving force. Tesla was incorporated in 2003 by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, who wanted to prove that electric cars could be better than gasoline cars. Elon joined in 2004 as chairman of the board and led the Series A funding round, investing substantially and becoming the company's largest shareholder. Elon's vision for Tesla was strategic and ambitious. He outlined what became known as the Secret Master Plan in 2006. Build an expensive, low-volume sports car to prove electric vehicles could be desirable. Use that money to develop a mid-priced, medium-volume car. Use that money to create an affordable, high-volume car and provide zero-emission electric power generation options. This approach would overcome the chicken and egg problem facing electric vehicles by starting with customers willing to pay premium prices. Tesla's first product was the Roadster, based on a Lotus Elise chassis, but powered by lithium-ion batteries and an electric motor. Launched in 2008, it could accelerate from 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds and travel over 200 miles on a single charge, shattering preconceptions about the electric vehicles being slow and impractical. Celebrities and techie entrepreneurs eagerly purchased Roadsters, generating valuable publicity and proving market demand for high-performance electric cars. However, Tesla's path was anything but smooth. Production challenges plagued the Roadster. Costs spiraled out of control, and the company teetered on the edge of bankruptcy multiple times. Internal conflicts between Eberhard and Elon led to Eberhard's departure in 2007. Elon assumed the role of CEO in 2008, taking direct control during the company's darkest period. The year 2008 nearly destroyed Elon. Both SpaceX and Tesla were simultaneously facing potential failure. His personal fortune was depleted, and the global financial crisis made raising additional capital nearly impossible. He faced an agonizing choice. He had enough money to save either SpaceX or Tesla, but not both. Unable to choose, he split his remaining funds between the companies, giving each a chance to survive. On Christmas Eve 2008, SpaceX received the NASA contract, and Tesla closed a financing round that kept it alive. Both companies had survived by the slimmest of margin. Tesla introduced the Model S luxury sedan in 2012, a car that would transform the company and the industry. The Model S earned universal acclaim, winning Motor Trend's Car of the Year award and achieving the highest safety rating in history from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. It proved that electric cars could be practical, desirable, and technologically superior to traditional vehicles. The Model S featured a massive touchscreen interface, over-the-air software updates, and autopilot, semi-autonomous driving capabilities that redefined automotive expectations. Building on this success, Tesla launched the Model X SUV in 2015 and the more affordable Model 3 in 2017. The Model 3, priced to compete with mainstream luxury sedans, generated hundreds of thousands of pre-orders and aimed to bring electric vehicles to the mass market. However, producing the Model 3 at scale proved extraordinarily difficult, a period Elon described as production hell. He slept at the factory, personally troubleshooting production line issues as Tesla struggled to meet demand and stop hemorrhaging cash. Through relentless effort and numerous sleepless nights, Tesla overcame its production challenges and achieved profitability. The company has since introduced the Model Y crossover, the Cybertruck, and the Semi, while building gigafactories around the world to manufacture batteries and vehicles at unprecedented scale. Tesla has become the world's most valuable automaker by market capitalization, forcing traditional car companies to accelerate their electric vehicle programs and fundamentally transforming the automotive industry. Beyond vehicles, Tesla has expanded into energy storage with the Powerwall home battery and PowerPack utility-scale storage systems, pursuing Elon's vision of sustainable energy generation and storage. The company's solar panel and solar roof products aim to make sustainable energy production accessible to homeowners, completing an integrated approach to sustainable energy. Chapter 6: Solar City, The Boring Company, and Neuralink. Elon's involvement in sustainable energy extended beyond Tesla. In 2006, he provided the concept and initial funding for Solar City, a solar energy services company founded by his cousins Lyndon and Peter Reeve. As chairman, Elon helped guide Solar City to become the largest solar energy provider in the United States. In 2016, Tesla acquired Solar City for approximately $2.6 billion, a controversial decision that some shareholders challenged as a bailout of a struggling company. Elon defended the acquisition as essential to Tesla's mission of accelerating sustainable energy adoption, integrating solar generation with battery storage and electric vehicles. Traffic congestion has long frustrated Elon, who spent hours stuck in Los Angeles traffic. In December 2016, he tweeted about his frustration and announced he would create the tunnel boring company to solve the problem. Many assumed he was joking. He wasn't. The Boring Company was officially founded in 2017 with the mission of constructing underground transportation tunnels to alleviate urban congestion. The Boring Company's approach involves building narrow tunnels at lower cost than traditional methods, with vehicles traveling on electric skates at high speeds. The company has completed test tunnels in Hawthorne, California, and built the Las Vegas Convention Center Loop, an underground transportation system. While critics question the viability and scalability of the concept, the Boring Company continues developing its technology and pursuing additional projects, exemplifying Elon's willingness to tackle problems others consider intractable. In 2016, Elon co-founded Neuralink, perhaps his most ambitious and controversial venture. Neuralink develops brain-computer interfaces, devices that could allow direct communication between human brains and computers. Elon's stated goals include helping people with neurological conditions and, more radically, enabling humans to keep pace with artificial intelligence by augmenting human cognitive capabilities. Neuralink has demonstrated its technology in animal trials, including a famous demonstration of a pig with an implanted chip and a monkey playing video games using only its thoughts. In 2023, the company received FDA approval to begin human clinical trials, marking a significant milestone. The ethical implications of brain-computer interfaces are profound, raising questions about privacy, identity, and human enhancement that society has barely begun to address. Chapter 7: The Twitter Acquisition and X. Elon's relationship with Twitter was long complicated before he acquired the platform. An active and controversial user, with tens of millions of followers, he used Twitter to make company announcements, share memes, engage with fans and critics, and occasionally land in legal trouble. In 2018, the SEC charged him with securities fraud after he tweeted about taking Tesla private at $420 per share, claiming he had funding secured. He hadn't. The settlement required Tesla to oversee his tweets about the company, and both Elon and Tesla paid $20 million fines. In early 2022, Elon began acquiring Twitter shares and questioning the platform's commitment to free speech. By April, he offered to buy Twitter for $44 billion, arguing that it had become too politically biased and that free speech was essential to functioning democracy. His offer was accepted, but Elon soon sought to terminate their deal, citing concerns about fake accounts and bots on the platform. Twitter sued to force the acquisition to proceed, and after months of legal battles, Elon completed the purchase in October 2022. The acquisition and subsequent management of Twitter have been extraordinarily controversial. Elon immediately fired much of the executive team and laid off approximately half of Twitter's workforce. He implemented sweeping changes, making previously free features paid through Twitter Blue, relaxing content moderation policies, reinstating previously banned accounts, including that of former President Donald Trump, and attempting to transform the platform into X, the Everything app. The rebranding from Twitter to X in July 2023 symbolized Elon's ambition to create a comprehensive platform for communications, payments, and social networking, similar to China's WeChat. However, the changes have been turbulent. Advertisers fled over content moderation concerns, celebrities abandoned the platform, and technical issues plagued new features. Elon's confrontational management style and political statements alienated many users, while energizing others who appreciated his approach to free speech. The Twitter acquisition has been financially punishing. The company's valuation dropped significantly. Elon took on substantial debt to finance the purchase, and Tesla investors worried that Twitter was distracting him from their company. Nevertheless, Elon remains committed to his vision for X, continuing to implement changes and innovations despite widespread criticism. Chapter 8: Personal Life and Controversies. Elon's personal life has been as tumultuous as his professional career. He married Canadian author Justine Wilson in 2000. They had 6 children together, though tragically their first son, Nevada, died of sudden infant death syndrome at 10 weeks old. The couple had 5 more sons through IVF, including twins and triplets, before divorcing in 2008. The divorce was acrimonious, with Justine later writing publicly about the marriage and its dissolution. Elon then married and divorced actress Tallulah Riley twice, first from 2010 to 2012, then again from 2013 to 2016. In 2018, he briefly dated musician Grimes, with whom he had 3 children despite their on-and-off relationship. The names of his children with Grimes generated considerable media attention. XAEAC, later changed to XAEAH, XA, Dark Sidereal, and Technomechanicus. In 2022, it was revealed that Elon had twins with Siobhan Zylis, an executive at Neuralink, bringing his confirmed number of children to 11. Elon's approach to parenting and relationships has attracted both criticism and fascination. He has spoken about population decline being one of the greatest threats to civilization and has encouraged people to have more children. Critics argue his personal relationships show instability, while supporters note he remains involved with his children despite his demanding work schedule. Professionally, Elon has been involved in numerous controversies beyond his Twitter statements. His management style is notoriously demanding, with employees describing brutal work hours and intense pressure. Critics accuse him of overpromising and underdelivering, particularly regarding Tesla's full self-driving capabilities, which, despite the name, require constant driver supervision. Multiple fatal accidents involving Tesla vehicles using autopilot have raised serious questions about the technology's safety and Elon's marketing of it. Elon's public statements have frequently generated controversy. He called a British cave diver involved in the 2018 Thai cave rescue a pedo guy on Twitter, leading to a defamation lawsuit that Elon ultimately won. He has made questionable statements about COVID-19, once calling panic about the virus dumb and resisting shutdown orders for Tesla factories. His political evolution from supporting Democrats to increasingly aligning with conservative positions has been controversial, particularly his 2024 endorsement of political candidates and his significant financial contributions to political causes. Chapter 9: Management, Philosophy, and Work Ethic. Understanding Elon's success requires understanding his distinctive approach to work and management. He operates according to principles that differ dramatically from conventional business wisdom, principles forged in the crucible of near bankruptcy and high-stakes innovation. First principles thinking forms the foundation of Elon's problem-solving approach. Rather than reasoning by analogy or accepting industry conventional wisdom, he breaks problems down to their fundamental physical and economic realities, then builds solutions from there. This approach led to SpaceX's breakthrough in rocket costs and Tesla's vertical integration strategy. Elon is legendary for his work ethic, regularly working 80 to 100 hours per week and sleeping at his factories during production crises. He expects similar dedication from employees, creating intense work environments that some thrive in and others find unsustainable. His companies have faced criticism for workplace culture, but also attract talented individuals eager to work on cutting-edge technology. His management style involves extremely aggressive timelines that critics call unrealistic, but that sometimes achieve the seemingly impossible. When told something will take 6 months, Elon might demand it in 6 weeks. While this often leads to missed deadlines and overpromises, it also pushes teams to accomplish what they initially thought impossible. SpaceX and Tesla have achieved numerous technical breakthroughs that conventional wisdom deemed unfeasible, partly through this relentless pressure to move faster. Elon maintains deep technical involvement across his companies, despite being CEO of multiple organizations. He reviews engineering designs, participates in technical discussions, and understands his company's products at a detailed level unusual for executives. This technical depth enables him to make informed decisions and challenge engineers when he believes better solutions exist. Risk tolerance distinguishes Elon from most entrepreneurs. He has repeatedly invested his entire fortune in his companies when they faced bankruptcy, betting everything on visions others called impossible. This willingness to risk total failure in pursuit of transformative goals has been both his greatest vulnerability and his greatest strength. Chapter 10. Impact and Legacy. Assessing Elon Musk's impact requires examining multiple industries and domains. In space exploration, he has single-handedly revitalized an industry that had stagnated for decades. SpaceX has dramatically reduced launch costs, developed reusable rocket technology that others declared impossible, and restored America's ability to launch astronauts from U.S. soil. His vision of Mars colonization, while still unrealized, has reframed space exploration's goals and inspired a new generation of engineers and space enthusiasts. In automotive and transportation, Elon forced the entire industry to take electric vehicles seriously. Before Tesla, major automakers produced token electric vehicles to satisfy regulatory requirements, while investing primarily in traditional engines. Tesla proved that electric cars could be desirable, practical, and profitable. Every major automaker now has electric vehicle programs, and many countries have announced plans to phase out internal combustion engines. This acceleration of the electric vehicle transition will significantly impact global carbon emissions. His influence on sustainable energy extends beyond vehicles. Tesla's energy storage products are deployed worldwide, helping stabilize electrical grids and enable renewable energy integration. While Tesla and SolarCity haven't achieved all their goals in this area, they've pushed battery technology forward and made residential solar power more accessible. Beyond specific industries, Elon has influenced entrepreneurial culture and popular imagination. He's demonstrated that single individuals can still create companies that transform major industries, inspiring countless entrepreneurs. His willingness to tackle seemingly impossible problems has shifted what people believe is achievable. The cult of personality surrounding him has both positive and negative aspects, inspiring followers while sometimes drowning out legitimate criticism. Elon's wealth has grown astronomically along with his company's success. As of early 2025, he is among the world's wealthiest individuals, with a net worth fluctuating based on Tesla's stock price. His wealth concentration raises important questions about inequality and the role of billionaires in society, particularly as he wields significant influence over public discourse through X and increasingly engages in politics. Critics rightly point out numerous concerns about Elon's legacy. His companies have faced accusations of workplace violations, safety issues, and environmental concerns. His public statements have sometimes spread misinformation. His growing political involvement and use of X as a political platform raise questions about concentrated power. His aggressive timelines have sometimes led to overpromises that undermined trust. The full self-driving capabilities he's promised for years remain unrealized, and people have died in accidents involving Tesla's driver assistance features. Nevertheless, his fundamental contributions appear significant and lasting. He's demonstrated that private enterprise can achieve what previously required government programs. He's accelerated the transition to sustainable transportation by at least a decade. He's made space access routine and affordable in ways that are enabling new space industries. Whether one admires or criticizes Elon personally, the companies he's built and the industries he's transformed constitute a remarkable legacy. Chapter 11. The Future and Ongoing Ventures. Looking forward, Elon shows no signs of slowing down, despite being in his 50s. At SpaceX, the development of Starship represents the culmination of his Mars colonization dreams. This fully reusable super heavy launch system is designed to carry up to 100 tons to low Earth orbit and enable missions to the Moon, Mars, and beyond. If successful, Starship could reduce the cost of space access by orders of magnitude and make large-scale space settlement economically feasible. SpaceX is also deploying Starlink, a satellite internet constellation that aims to provide high-speed internet globally, particularly to underserved rural areas. With thousands of satellites already in orbit and hundreds of thousands of subscribers, Starlink is becoming a significant business in its own right while advancing Elon's vision of funding Mars missions through Earth-based services. Tesla continues pushing toward fully autonomous driving, though the timeline remains uncertain and controversial. The company is expanding its product line, building new factories globally, and working to achieve Elon's goal of producing 20 million vehicles annually by 2030. Whether Tesla can maintain its valuation and competitive position as traditional automakers scale their electric offerings remains an open question. But the company has fundamentally changed the automotive landscape. Neuralink's human trials represent the next frontier for the company. If successful, brain-computer interfaces could revolutionize treatment for neurological conditions and eventually augment human cognitive capabilities in ways that seem like science fiction today. However, the technology faces enormous technical, regulatory, and ethical challenges that may take decades to resolve. The Boring Company continues pursuing underground transportation projects, though progress has been slower than Elon's typical ventures. The concept of addressing urban congestion through tunneling networks remains unproven at scale, and critics question whether the approach can ever compete with traditional mass transit. Nevertheless, the company continues developing its technology and bidding on projects. At X, Elon continues implementing his vision of an everything app, though whether he can successfully transform Twitter into a comprehensive platform for communications, content, and payments while maintaining its user base remains highly uncertain. The platform's future direction will significantly impact online discourse and digital infrastructure. Chapter 12. The Elon Musk Phenomenon. Elon Musk represents something distinctive in contemporary business and culture. He's simultaneously a brilliant innovator and a flawed human being, a visionary entrepreneur, and a controversial public figure. Understanding the Elon phenomenon requires grappling with these contradictions rather than reducing him to simple hero or villain. His success challenges several common assumptions about how innovation happens and how businesses should be run. He's shown that it's possible to simultaneously lead multiple complex companies in different industries. He's demonstrated that extremely aggressive timelines and demanding work culture can produce breakthrough innovations, even if they also produce burnout and overpromises. He's proven that direct-to-consumer communication through social media can build brands and shape narratives, though it can also generate controversy and legal liability. The personality traits that enable his successes also create his failures. His unwillingness to accept conventional limitations enables breakthrough innovations, but also leads to unrealistic promises. His intense focus enables deep problem-solving, but also creates tunnel vision about risks. His confidence in his own judgment enables decisive action, but also leads to mistakes when that judgment is wrong. Waning. Elon's increasing political involvement represents a new phase in his public life. His endorsements of political candidates, his statements on policy issues, and his use of X as a political platform make him an increasingly divisive figure. His evolution from a largely apolitical entrepreneur to an active political force with significant financial resources and platform control raises important questions about the role of wealth and technology in democracy. Wind. The cult of personality surrounding Elon is itself significant. He has passionate defenders who see him as humanity's best hope for solving existential challenges, and equally passionate critics who see him as a dangerous megalomaniac. This polarization reflects broader cultural divisions about technology, capitalism, wealth, and power. Social media amplifies both the adulation and criticism, creating feedback loops that distance public perception from nuanced reality. For young entrepreneurs and engineers, Elon represents both inspiration and caution. His willingness to pursue seemingly impossible goals has inspired countless people to think bigger and work harder. His companies attract talented individuals eager to work on meaningful challenges. However, his approach isn't universally applicable or advisable. Most people cannot or should not work 100-hour weeks. Most companies do not benefit from confrontational leadership styles. Most entrepreneurs should not bet everything on moonshot ventures. WOMI. The question of whether Elon's methods are replicable or whether he's a unique individual whose approach works only for him remains debated. Elements of his success clearly stem from particular circumstances, personal characteristics, and historical timing that cannot be copied. Other elements, such as first principles thinking, technical depth, and bias toward action, represent learnable principles applicable to many contexts. His relationship with failure and resilience deserves particular attention. Elon has faced failure repeatedly, from early SpaceX launch failures to Tesla's near bankruptcies to controversial acquisitions. Rather than being deterred, he's persisted through setbacks that would have destroyed most people's resolve. This resilience, combined with the financial resources to keep trying, has been essential to his eventual successes. However, it's also led to situations where persistence became stubbornness and confidence became hubris. Conclusion: an unfinished story. Elon Musk's story remains unfinished. At 54 years old with multiple ambitious ventures in progress, his ultimate legacy is far from determined. SpaceX might successfully establish a Mars colony, or the venture might prove economically or technically unfeasible. Tesla might dominate the electric vehicle market for decades, or traditional automakers might reclaim their position. Neuralink might revolutionize neuroscience, or it might remain a niche medical technology. X might become an everything app, or it might collapse under competitive pressure. What can be said with confidence is that Elon has already changed the world in multiple ways. He's revitalized space exploration, accelerated the electric vehicle transition, and pursued breakthrough technologies across multiple domains. He's demonstrated that ambitious individuals can still create companies that transform major industries. He's inspired people worldwide to think bigger about humanity's potential and challenges. He's also provided cautionary lessons about concentrated power, the importance of institutional checks, and the risks of personality-driven organizations. His controversial statements and actions remind us that genius in one domain doesn't confer wisdom in all domains. His management approach raises important questions about work-life balance and sustainable business practices. His political involvement illustrates the complex relationship between wealth, technology platforms, and democratic discourse. Evaluating Elon requires holding multiple truths simultaneously. He's both a genuine innovator who has achieved remarkable things and a flawed person who has made significant mistakes. His companies have produced transformative technologies while also facing legitimate criticisms about working conditions, safety, and environmental impact. His vision and determination have accomplished what others deemed impossible, while also leading to overpromises and missed deadlines. The industries Elon has touched will never be the same. Whether or not his most ambitious goals are achieved, he's fundamentally altered expectations about what's possible in space exploration, transportation, and technology. Future innovators will build on his company's achievements, whether those innovators work for his enterprises or compete against them. The technologies his companies have developed will continue evolving long after Elon himself has moved on. Perhaps most significantly, Elon has reminded the world that individual agency still matters in an age of large institutions and complex systems. One person with vision, determination, and resources can still change the trajectory of industries and technologies. Whether this should be celebrated, regulated, or scrutinized, it represents an important reality about how innovation happens in the 21st century. As we move further into the 21st century, the challenges Elon has focused on, sustainable energy, space exploration, and human technology integration, will only become more important. Whether his approaches to these challenges prove optimal is secondary to the fact that he's forcing humanity to confront them seriously. Future generations will judge his legacy based not just on what he accomplished, but on whether his efforts contributed to solving or exacerbating humanity's greatest challenges. The story of Elon Musk is ultimately a very human story about ambition, innovation, failure, success, and the complex relationship between individual vision and collective progress. It's a story that reflects our age's possibilities and problems, our hopes and fears about technology, and our questions about how society should be organized and led. Whatever one's opinion of Elon personally, engaging with his story means engaging with fundamental questions about innovation, progress, and human potential that will shape humanity's future for decades to come.